This is an introductory walkthrough in Brightspace, recorded to coincide with the drop-in at the Wagga campus in June. I'll be showing you the test environment. It's almost identical to the main production environment, but allows us to carry out tests and training without impacting the main Brightspace site. Please be aware that the look and feel has not yet been finalised, as this is very much a preview. So images, text and page designs will look better once we're close to going live. I'll start with my personal homepage. To get there, I simply click the Sturt logo at the top left-hand side of the screen. You can see that the homepage shows me subjects I'm enrolled in. Don't worry too much about the images. They're random still, as an image policy has yet to be applied. My subjects are organised as tabs to help me find them. From a student perspective, we'll be looking to set up the page so that subjects taught in different years appear in different tabs. I can also pin subjects, and these are my pinned ones. This feature will be helpful to staff who are enrolled in many subjects. At the top of the screen, to the right of the Sturt logo, there is what's called a minibar with some different icons. The message alert shows me when I have a new email. The subscription alert shows when there is a new post in a discussion I'm subscribed to. The update alert shows me when a new content item has been posted by the academic, a new grade item is released, or whether there is a new announcement. I can change my notification settings using the personal menu on the top right. For example, I can choose to exclude some subjects, so I don't get notifications about them. As a student, I can also change how discussion forums show up on the screen. This can be important in larger subjects where there are many student posts. I'll now go to a subject site using the subject selector. This is the icon with multiple boxes in centre right, and it's a quick way for me to get to my subjects. The pinned ones appear at the top, and I can pin and unpin them here. So here you see I'm in a subject called Master Subject Romanticism and Education. A master subject in Brightspace is a version of the subject with all the content in it that students don't see. It's available all the time. So if I want to, as an academic, I can author content well in advance of beginning to teach. When a subject is to be taught in a particular session, a subject site is then created at the appropriate time and students enrol into that subject site. The subject site is a copy of the master site. All of my assessment items, all of my pages, copies of my announcements are transferred automatically. The advantage is that as an academic, if there's a third party teaching the subject in a particular session, maybe I've got a research grant, or the subject's otherwise being coordinated by a colleague for some time, the third party can get some permissions over the subject site, but anything they change will not automatically reflect in the master site. So I'll now move to a subject called Romanticism and Education. This is an exact copy of the master subject, although it is visually distinguished with a different banner, and we will look for other ways to make the difference really obvious to staff. So this is the site students see, and there are students enrolled in it, not real students of course, as it's the test environment. So another difference of Brightspace is a feature called Sections. At the current time in Interact 2, we have a different site for every different student cohort in a session. So an academic may have to maintain as many as 6 or 7 different sites in the same teaching period. A key reason for that is that it's not possible in our Interact 2 implementation to clearly distinguish different cohorts within the same site when it comes to, say, assessment and grading. That is possible to do in Brightspace. So a content item or an assessment can be made available only to students in a particular cohort, known as a section. For example, Wagga Internal. This will enable us to reduce the number of sites academics are required to manage. On the subject homepage, you'll see there is an activity feed. This allows me to quickly create a post that all students will see. I can also create an assessment directly from the homepage. Here I'll create a post asking students how they went with a particular topic. I can add what's called a quick link. That will take students directly through to a particular item on the page. Just add a space, post, and it's done. There are a couple of options for students to navigate the page. One is to click through from the visual table of contents on the main page. Let's see how that looks from a student perspective. I'll choose one of the students enrolled, so let's choose Elizabeth, and see how her version of the site looks. And you'll see that she now has an update notification for the post that I've just made. Please do be aware that the feature to see a specific student's view will be restricted to staff with certain roles for privacy reasons. For others, you can still see a student view, but it's in a generic one called Student. So Elizabeth can see a visual indication, of how far she has progressed with a particular topic. And in this case, it's the topic on Rousseau. So if she opens it up, she goes directly into the content browser, can go backwards and forwards. Also, Elizabeth can open up the navigation menu on the left-hand side. Another option for Elizabeth is to use the content item on the navbar. This takes her into the content navigator. Here she can see exactly what items she has completed and launch the relevant items. Okay, so I'll go back to my staff role. As a member of staff, if I want to create some new content, I have some different options. So I'll go to the content area, select a section of the content, and select Create New. And in this case, I'll choose HTML document, which is a new normal page. Here, I can easily access templates using the Select Template drop-down menu. These are default templates at the moment, but we'll be providing Charles Sturt ones so that staff have all the correct heading styles and layouts in easy reach. I can add multimedia like videos. I can add an existing page, or I can add equations. For example, graphical and LaTeX equations are supported. I can also make content available only to students who have completed certain tasks already, so defining particular pathways through the content that students need to take. One last feature of Brightspace to show you today is intelligent agents. An intelligent agent is a personalised email or any other action that I create for certain students based on their characteristics. So I'll go to my class progress. Here I can see at a glance how the students enrolled have been using the LMS and what their grades are. I can also look into individuals' information if I want to and get a summary of their progress in Brightspace. So let's imagine I want to email all students who have logged into the subject during week 1 to give them some encouragement. I click on Use Agents and create a new agent. Let's call it week 1. I won't enable it yet, as agents need to be used carefully. I'll also make sure to give the agent a meaningful description. In this case, I've just written text, but it's important to be able to find it later. So I'll select this message to repeat every week on a Monday. That's until the end of the session. Under Criteria, I'll select it to go only to students. I'll select students who have logged in the last 7 days. I'll select only for this to happen the first time a student meets the criterion so that the student doesn't get multiple emails, which is really important. And I'll select to send an email when the criteria are satisfied. I'll make the recipient of the email myself, as there always has to be at least one named recipient for the email. Put some text into the message. Click Save and Close. And it's done. I can test the emails, and I can also click Enable when I'm ready to use the agent. So that's all for today's walkthrough. If you have any questions ahead of the launch, you can contact our team using the Polaris mailbox. You can also go to the project website and select to become an early adopter for Brightspace at Charles Sturt.